great. Oh.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Scaling Smarter. My name is Ollie Taylor from Wisdom and Wayfinder, and I am here with my co-host, Frank Majorana from JustWorks. How's it going, Frank?
It's going great, Ollie. It's going great. I've been looking forward to today for a bit to have this conversation with Rob. But first off, how are you doing, Ollie?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm so excited for this conversation. So, yeah, I'll let you kick it off here and introduce our guest.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'd love to introduce Rob Joyce. Rob is the CEO of Gradius IT Solutions. And last week we had a great conversation with Jamie Ruiz, where
Mhm.
her founding was founded in a passion that she had when she was in college, and some of the
Mhm.
motivation of kind of what happened to her brother to start her business and scale her business.
Yeah.
Now, what I love about entrepreneurs is they all have different stories, and Rob's story is different as well. So, looking forward to hearing Rob share. You know, why did he go into IT? Why did you
Mhm.
start your business? How did you decide to become a business owner? So, with that said, Rob, why don't you just introduce yourself briefly?
Hey, how's it going? I want to thank both of you for actually doing these podcasts or these streaming events. I think it's really great, and it's great for the community to be able to do that. So I really want to thank you guys.
Yeah,
Robert
thank
Joyce,
you.
Gradius IT, Robert Joyce, Gradius IT Solutions. We are a managed service IT provider. Anything from your mouse to cloud to security to compliance, new office build outs. It doesn't matter. We do everything related to your tech. Um,
So, So Rob, when we had our original conversation, we kind of prep call. You were saying that IT was always a passion of yours, right?
I mean, debatable, but kind of just something I became good at and something that stuck with me, you know?
So
Yeah.
tell us back to the very beginning how you got into IT, what drove you kind of into this world.
Yeah, so I was in high school. I was 17 going on 18. I had my first kid. When had my first kid, all my friends were going off to college, and I couldn't do that because I was there and I raised my kid. So I
Mhm.
had to figure out what to do with my life. It was enough screwing around and doing some dumb stuff, but I had to figure out something to do for a career for me and my family. So I wound up going to a computer school at that time, which was very popular, and got my first job doing networking. So I used to work in data centers doing like NOC management and stuff like that.
Nice.
Um, and then post 9/11 hit, and that really took my career off. When I say that, because I had a bunch of friends in Merrill Lynch who were working in all the financial markets and stuff. And when the 9/11 hit, the trading floor for Merrill Lynch had gotten ruined. So I was brought in on a team to actually help rebuild that trading floor there.
Nice.
In doing so, I worked on the project for like 2 or 3 months, and they really liked the way I work. So they pulled me off the project and actually made me one of their personal consultants. So I basically, for like quite a few years, just ran projects on my own there for them. It was very interesting. It was really cool, and it was a great launcher in my career.
And so what did you like? You're in that world. What did you kind of during that process of kind of having a kid and then kind of going into IT and kind of becoming a professional, what did you kind of learn about yourself as far as like your capabilities, kind of what you're able to do?
Well, I kind of, from the beginning, I kind of learned that nobody was going to outwork me. And I say that because
Mhm.
I always had a chip on my shoulder where felt like I had to work harder than the guy next to me due to the
Yeah.
fact of not having that degree. Lo and behold, not having a degree never impacted me at all in my career, but I always had that mentality that I need to outwork the person next to me.
Yeah.
No, makes sense. You kind of have that, a little bit of I got this. Like you don't think I can? Like I absolutely can.
Yeah.
100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that reminds me of that scene from The Bear where he's like, "F you, watch this. Like I'm going to show you what I can do."
Yeah,
That's one of my
I'm a
favorite
big
scenes. But good.
I'm a big advocate in like, don't talk about it, just be about it, right? So
Yeah.
I think those who talk, something to be said for that, right? But I think just, proving it. And a lot of times I'm not proving it to anybody but myself.
Yeah, that's such a huge thing. And I was talking to a couple of other entrepreneurs and business owners yesterday, kind of about the same thing. Like, you kind of feel like there's people that think that they're competing with you, and it's like, I'm not competing with you. I'm not trying to do what you're trying to do. I'm trying to be better than myself than I was yesterday. And I think for you, like, some of the story that you were sharing, like, yeah, not having the degree, but then also having, a kid at 17, and your motivation for where you started and where you're going is so much different than other people who are doing it for the clout or the money or just to like kind of show off. So
Yeah, it was
really,
definitely, as I said, it's definitely very interesting. And I kind of, like I said, it's just something that's always in my mind. And, as far as people, everybody who knows me knows I never stop working, even though I should,
mhm.
but I don't.
Yeah.
And that's, 7 days a week, 24/7. I'm always connected, always doing something, trying to remove myself a little bit away from that right now, which is a very big struggle
Yep.
as a business owner, which I'm learning.
Yeah.
There's the old working in the business and on the business. So I've been really focusing and trying to get myself working on the business instead of in the business. So kind of
Yeah.
scaling for all of that right now. And it's mentally a very big challenge
It's
because I'm so
hard.
used
It's
to just
hard.
doing it myself.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to talk more about that, but kind of
Mhm.
you took us to Merrill Lynch, you took us to the
Yep.
projects. Now,
Mhm.
how do you decide to, I'm going to bet on myself?
Perfect. So I spent 23 years in financial markets, all IT related, and I did every job, anywhere from the guy who changed your mouse to actually building and running technology for firms.
Oh wow.
One thing that I will say that really kind of I feel separates me is just customer service, response, and all that stuff. Because coming from that world, that was trivial. I mean, you
Mhm.
had no choice. That was just ingrained in you, and
Yep.
it's still ingrained in me. So kind of I think that's what separates me from a lot of others. I'm not saying others don't do the same thing, but I know that that's one of my strong points is that stuff.
Yeah.
So 23 years doing that. I always had a handful of clients. About 4 years ago, I decided to just go out on my own and take the leap. And it was very scary, but it's been a very great ride so far. Very interesting, challenging. You learn a lot about yourself because I was never historically a business owner. I was a tech.
Yep.
Mm.
So I'm learning a lot about myself, what I like, what I don't like, stuff like that, and just learning a lot about business. One thing I do say that I really is goes well for me is that I surround myself with the right people. So I've been very blessed in my career, from just acquaintances to mentors to you name it. I have resources, I have everything around me. So I kind of build a very good network around me,
Yep.
and that's really been very trivial.
Mhm.
So what was the conversation like with yourself when you're making that decision? I know you said I bet on myself. I took the leap. You decided to do it. But what was the pros? Because the reason why we're asking this is like we want to. There are going to be people out there that are going to watch this. They're
Mhm.
thinking about leaving their job and kind of hanging their own shingle. So
Yeah.
I'd love to hear kind of what was going on through your head when you were
A lot
making
of it
that.
came down to be honest with you, and I'm not knocking corporate America. I mean, that's great for some people who enjoy that.
Mhm.
For me, I kind of got a little turned off by corporate America.
Okay.
And when I say that, I feel like in corporate America, in most or in some places, you're just a number. You're not really anything there for that, right? And you're never going to make
Yeah.
it to where you want. I mean, it's great. You can punch a clock, you can get a nice 401k and all this other fun stuff. But like, are you really getting to that next level working for someone else? You're not.
Mhm.
Right now, my fate is in my hands, right? If I want to go and make X amount of money, it's up to me to do it.
Yep.
And the ability is there for that. Working for someone else, it's just not there. And I'm also a very big believer in giving back. And when I say that, I've been on the other end in corporate America. And like I said, I kind of feel like you don't really get valued well. So for me, when it comes to employees and stuff like that, I value the relationships, and I'm very big into giving back.
Mhm.
I
And
like.
what does that look like in terms of, like the ways in which you're giving back both to your employees and outside of the company?
So I think it's mentorships. So definitely
Mhm.
mentoring people. I believe. I mean, at the end of the day, we all do everything, and we all have passions. We all have everything. But at the end of the day, we all do stuff to make money, right? So I'm a
Mhm.
very big believer in making it lucrative for people as well. So you do well, you get paid. You do well on this, I'll give you a bonus. So, a lot of times we'll do projects and I just throw guys a bonus for that. Just out of their regular pay, just because the project went well and the clients are happy.
Mhm.
So stuff like that is very important to me. I've also believe in doing some charity work. So we do some charity events and stuff like that as well. That's outside of the business, but I think it's important to give back.
Yeah. Are there any important causes that you want to just give a quick shout out to, or?
I like Wounded Warriors, stuff like that. I'm very big into like veterans and stuff. I actually trying to figure out how to put together a golf outing for like Wounded Warriors or something like that.
All right.
Okay. Well, any golfers or anybody that's listening that also wants to support our veterans, at the end of the episode, we're going to have Robert share his contact information. So make sure you get in touch with him and ask how you can help him accomplish that dream. Yeah.
So, so Rob, kind of going in a kind of taking a couple steps back. You mentioned before kind of the struggle of working in the business as opposed to on the business.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does that mean to you?
So I was a one man shop for a while where it was all me. It was the support. It was everything you name it related to our business and supporting our clients was me. So I'm the one checking the mouses, clicking the mouses, changing the passwords, doing all that other fun stuff. I've been putting stuff in place right now, so I'm not doing that. We have a full 24/7 support desk. I have a couple of techs, so I'm kind of
Nice.
three layers removed from the day to day stuff. Uh, that doesn't mean I don't get involved still. I still do stuff. I'm still hopping in and, working on issues. I'm really more of an escalation point right now. I'm more of guidance. So somebody doesn't know how to do something, I'll give them some guidance and show them how to do it, stuff like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Like, what was what was happening in your business at the point that you decided, like, okay, I gotta make my first hire? Because that's always the scariest challenge for a lot of new business owners.
Well, being surrounded by the mentors that I have in the business, they really always, like I said, instill in me work on the business, not in the business. And if you're sitting there doing the day-to-day work, you're not able to work on the business. You're in it,
Yeah.
you kind of, and I think you lose a lot of focus too when you're constantly in the business. Not by on purpose, but it happens.
Yep.
Something that's very important to me is client success, client happiness. And I feel like I
Yeah.
kind of drifted away from that, not by choice, but was really because of I was stuck in the weeds. So I'm really focused on getting back at that now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what is getting back at it look like now? Like what is
Just
that?
going out and visiting clients, I mean, we're a partnership, right? We don't just look to be your IT vendor. We're a partnership. And I always tell everybody, all my clients, if you don't hear from us and we don't speak, that's a good thing. But
Yep.
it's a good thing, but it's not a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Good thing is at least your stuff is humming, everything's in a good spot. But we should be having some more relationship type of stuff there, which I'm working on now. So I'm kind of going around talking with clients. Where are we going? AI is a big one right now. So
Yeah.
how are you embracing AI in your business? We can help with that and stuff like that. So just a lot of those types of conversations. Bringing them coffee,
Yeah.
donuts, cookies.
Oh, nice.
Rob,
Oh, we
that's
just got a comment. Sorry. We just got a comment that came in that says you're the man, Rob. So
so Rob, like that's actually a pretty good segue, right? Because you're in a unique situation where you service small businesses. You see a lot of challenges they face on the technology side, and you can probably offer some guidance. And you mentioned just AI just now. Like, what are some of the things that you're seeing kind of in the small business landscape that that owners need to look out for that they're not paying attention to? What does AI really mean for these small businesses?
Yeah. So shadow AI. So is one of the biggest things right now. You just have users going around in your environment, and they're using any type of AI they want to. There's no guardrails wrapped around that. There's no governance around that. So I think that's one of the biggest things, and we can help out with that. So we have two different things we do. We have a governance side where we can actually just wrap governance around whatever AI tools you want to use, and that's fine. You go and put in a social security number, it's going to tell you it won't let you due to our policy, company policy. Then we have a whole nother portion of AI that we do if you need to actually build out AI agents and automations and MCP servers and stuff. We have that in a secure environment where we can do that for your firm. So you want to automate your stuff. Let's just say you're in a, you have Betty who is your HR person constantly doing onboardings. Well, we can automate that and get her back time to spend it on something more meaningful. So just stuff like that we're focusing on. Really like, what are time sucks for clients and how can we fix that for them between automation and AI?
Yeah.
And what does it mean when for businesses like what? How are they if they're are just kind of letting people kind of run wild with AI? Utilizing ChatGPT, like whatever it may be, without those
Mhm.
guardrails. What are the what are the consequences of that for small businesses?
Well, I mean, think about it. If you are a healthcare provider, right, and you're putting someone's information on there, that's a HIPAA violation, right? So
Mhm.
that's not good. And everything that goes into the public AI is out there for everybody.
Okay.
So you want to kind of really wrap governance around that. So you can use it for research and stuff. You just should be blocked at least from putting personal information unless it's in a secure environment that doesn't go out.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we have a couple of lawyers who would love to have you work with their clients because they'll take their briefs or anything like communication between them and the client and upload it into ChatGPT, and it's like, okay, you just got rid of your attorney-client privilege, like everything is discoverable
100%.
now. Like,
Yes. It's crazy. And like, listen, a lot of it comes down to people not knowing too, right? It's not that anybody, I
yeah,
don't think people are doing it to be malicious. I just, people don't know, right? So it's all about everything that we do. It's education, right? Even on the
yeah,
IT side, we have to educate them on why they need us. You're under some sort of regulatory compliance, you need proper security, guideline guardrails in place and stuff like that. So a lot of it's just education.
yeah. Which I also hear as building trust, right? There's building trust
Yeah.
in that relationship that, the things that you're recommending from an IT security side is something that they actually need and not just what a lot of people tend to think is, oh, this is just another bill, right? This is
Yeah.
not something I actually need right now until there's a disaster and they actually need your help.
Unfortunately, that's a lot of people, when I
Yeah.
say that. So, the one thing that I see a lot is, especially in the SMB world, is people don't realize or don't really think they need something until something happens.
Hmm.
And it's just to me, what we do is just like your automobile insurance, right? You have it,
Hmm.
you don't use it all the time, but that one time when you do need it, it pays for itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I equivalate that stuff there. It's definitely something that's needed. A lot of people, IT is always a negative expense for people.
Yeah.
But, if you want to be in the current ages, you really need to let your IT grow with your business
Yep.
because it's going to support it.
Yeah.
So what we had Jack Watkinson on here a while back, and he was talking about cybersecurity. And but what should the budget be for? Like, I'm starting a
Mhm.
business. I'm one employee. I'm thinking about scaling. Like, what should my budget be from an IT perspective? Um,
It's hard to say from a budget perspective. It's really, I mean, so like, we what we do as a managed service provider is we have packages in place. So your IT spends are very predictable. It doesn't go beyond that.
okay.
That being said, our IT packages include all our cybersecurity. Then we have, ancillary services as well that we offer, like, CISO as a service, these,
Mhm.
PTOs as a service, all that other fun stuff. So that's all
Mhm.
stuff on top of that. But the basic stuff is all covered under our packaging. And we basically, as a client, you fit into one of our packages, and that's how we kind of handle everything for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's not like there's not really in the industry guideline of like two
It's hard
percent.
to say. No, it's hard to really say that, really. I mean, like, at the end of the day, you're a business, and it's not just security, right? Because when you're talking about security, you're talking about the IT portion of all that stuff. You're talking about if they're under some sort of regulatory compliance.
Yep.
You're talking about that stuff as well. I love talking to clients who are prospects who are under regulatory compliance because that just leads to every other portion of what we do.
Yeah.
Ali?
Yeah. So what about like the human element when it comes to the security, right? Because you can do all the things, you can have all the governance around, the technology. You can have the spend and making sure that your technology and everything is current. How do you work with the companies on the human aspect of the security?
So it's a combination. A lot of it really all comes down to education,
Hmm.
what to look for, stuff like that. So we do phishing training and all that other fun stuff for our clients.
Nice. Okay.
I have done before with certain clients where I've actually spoken to the team And I have a couple of clients who are interested in starting to do that on a regular basis, so we're going to start doing that. And it's really
Nice.
all education, right? I mean, I'm a very big advocate of, at the end of the day, all of us are the biggest threats because we're human.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And that being said, it's like, we're the biggest threats, so we have to be educated on what to do, what not to do, what to look for.
Yeah.
So we focus a lot on that when it comes to security stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any particular threat out there that's a little bit newer that business owners should be aware of? So
I'm gonna
what's
have to say, I think the biggest threat landscape right now is email.
okay?
I think of it this way: the days of me trying to hack your systems and sit there. Not that it's not done; it's still done very widely, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's easier for me to take thousands of emails, send it out, and maybe get a few people to click on it. Now I have access to
Mm.
their systems. So I think those are the biggest threats. So we do a lot with the email security, and then once again, it comes down to education. Things are going to happen, and at these days, the way cyber is working, it's really not a matter of if you are going to have some sort of an incident. It's when.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of those emails can get really like they're really deceptive, right?
Oh
We
yeah,
I work for a larger organization, and we have this similar training in which they send out fake emails, and I've gotten caught and very embarrassing where it's like you have to go back to training. I'm like how did I click on it? But it is sometimes like you'll have people that that are sending a link that looks like it's applicable to your business, right?
well,
Or
you really got to look at, like, when stuff like that comes in. You want to look at the email address. That's the first
yeah,
thing you look at, right? Because the display name and the email address are two different things. So I
yeah,
can
Mhm.
I can make it look like you, but it's not you. And I've
yeah.
seen it all over the place where it's the name of the person who owns the business, and it's a Gmail account that's not even theirs. So, like, spotting stuff like that, hovering over links and stuff like that. I have a rule of thumb for me personally: I don't click anything. If you sent me something, I'm most likely not clicking on it. It's just a rule of thumb I have, and I have everything in place. But it's one of the things I just do.
Gotcha.
You haven't responded. Ah,
Thanks. I'll respond to your email. I just won't
really
click
that
the link.
important. If it's really that important, they'll call me. If it's that important, they'll call me. There you go. That
Or I'll
works.
verify. A lot of times it comes down to verifying too. Hey, Frank, was this something that we needed to do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it makes that makes sense. That makes sense.
Gotcha.
So
So that's why you asked me to resend the link last night.
Yep.
that
Yeah,
makes sense.
my filtering
Verify.
that went through it. You were good. It came through. We're good. But yeah.
That's good.
I can't tell you how many times I have friends like, hey, did you look that video I sent you? I'm like, nope.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
So what's the so talk to us a little bit about so we're scaling, talk about the future
Yeah.
of Radius and kind of where
So
you're going and what you're trying to do.
really excited. We're currently doing some hiring right now. Looking to
Nice.
expand in possibly to the Midwest. We're talking to somebody out there about being a
Ooh.
partner out there. Same thing with South Florida. We're looking to expand out there. I'm very big into, like, I just love to be able to service everywhere.
Yeah.
What's really great is that for us is I'm part of a bunch of mentorships and peer groups where we have access to tons of different MSPs where we all partner and help each other out. So, like, when it comes to, like, I don't need to be in a location to be able to service that location. I have the
Mhm.
resources that can do it, which is great, and vice versa, right? We'll help anybody out as well. So a lot of it comes down to looking to scale in different locations, looking to grow here, and just keep it moving.
Mhm.
And
That's awesome.
when you're hiring, right? You
Mhm.
obviously your story is you've worked hard for what you've earned and where you are at this point. But what do you look for when you're hiring an employee? Like, how do you decide whether this person's going to be good, this person's not?
First and foremost is personality. Um, I care about the tech, but I care very little about the tech. And when I say that, I can teach you tech, I can't teach you how to speak to people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh, we're a customer. We're a customer. We're in front of customers. We're in front of prospects. You need to be able to talk.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's an emotional intelligence piece that has to exist, and which if it doesn't, you have a hard time.
Yeah, I struggle with that. I mean, like I definitely that's the first thing I look for, and that's kind of weeds out people I'm talking to hire. You know, if I have a conversation with you and you can't sit there and look me in the face and have a conversation and be personable, what are you going to do when I put you in front of a client?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it makes sense.
It's very, I want my employees when they're at clients, I want them greeting everybody. I want them saying hi to everybody in the office. I want them to be known that they're there. It just sets a presence.
Yeah.
And as far as like from a candidate pool standpoint, right? I know that
Mhm,
your industry is very competitive.
mhm.
So talk a little bit about like, what it's like and how hard to find people.
Well, it is very competitive, but on top of there's also a lot of people out of work.
Yeah.
So, it's a big combination. Right now, I'm really focused on really more junior people because I want to be able to train them. I have enough senior people around me that I
Mm,
have whenever I need something, but I'm really looking for more the junior person that we can change, or junior employees that we can kind of train up a little bit and complement it with more experienced people, of course, than myself.
yeah.
But like, being able to train somebody and kind of to me, it's invaluable.
Are there partnerships with like some of the technology schools that are possible for
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So I've been reaching out. I actually have an interview tomorrow morning with somebody from one of the schools, so I'm gonna go meet them in
Nice.
person. I've been doing a lot of like first call interviews online, and then I'm trying to meet them in person because I want to see how they act when we're in person together.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, that's real cool. Yeah. So another question is, having come from the survival mode, the from when you started the business and everything that you've gone to now, what is something that you find to be like to keep you going on the days when it gets really hard? Even now, having all the experience that you have, what keeps you going on the days when it gets hard?
I think it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I kind of set a goal for myself of where I want to see the company get to from a financial standpoint. So to me, that's my challenge that I have to do. And the only person that's going to do that is myself.
Yeah.
So I think that's what keeps me going every day. And listen, we have good days, we have bad days, but when you're
Yeah.
when you're an entrepreneur and you own your own business, it's going to happen that way.
Yeah. Yeah, just kind of just knowing going in that okay, it's gonna be some hard days. I'm gonna get kicked in the teeth, and
Oh
but I
yeah,
gotta
there's
keep
been
smiling.
several. There's been several days, dude, where like I've sat there and I'm like, why am I doing this? But then I'm like 2 seconds later, like, nope, let's go.
Yeah,
Um, the good news, like I said, from my background, I came from a very, very crazy world in the financial markets, and I've dealt with
yeah,
every personality you can think of, the billionaire owner to this, regular trader, and every personality you can think of. So, in doing all that, it really built a certain tolerance, and I act very well
mhm,
under pressure and stuff as well because of that. So, it really helps out with like, when I'm starting to doubt things, I'm like, nope, let's go.
yeah. Let's keep going.
Well, it's just funny because at the end of the day, like there is a part that is easier. And this is why I respect entrepreneurs so much. There is a part that is easier to work for somebody. Like
Oh
there's
yeah.
some freedom and flexibility that does occur a little bit when you're kind of hanging your own shingle, right? You still have you still report to people, but you it's yours, right? So there's a little, but it's hard.
It is.
like
It is.
so, there's definitely appreciate that.
I
Definitely.
will
Yeah.
say being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart.
No.
It definitely is not. I think that, and honestly, I think like doing this, you learn a lot about yourself. Like I've learned a lot about things I like, I don't like. I've learned that I have no patience anymore for anything. When I say that, the BS stuff, right? I like
Yeah.
used to be able to tolerate that. Now I'm like, nope, I cut it out right away.
Yeah.
Rob, I know
Yeah.
you didn't know the industry, but did you think you'd be a business owner when you were younger?
No, not at all. No.
That's fair. That's fair.
Never thought about
Yeah.
it. Never ever considered it. It's just kind of the way my path has taken me.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We
Um,
just got a question in from Jonathan O'Brien. If you were to start a new MSP fresh today, what is something you would do differently that than you did when you actually started?
I
that's a
would
good
have
question.
probably started out with putting mentors in place from the beginning. This way, the guidance was
Mm,
there as far as like how to properly set things up and just the day-to-day operations and stuff. Right now, I really feel like a strong foundation is what needs to be built when you're doing this. And I think when you just go into it, you don't really know.
Yeah.
So I'm fixing all that stuff now in the business right now, but I think mentorships would be good. And there's really good mentors out there.
Yeah. Do you have any that you recommend? You've mentioned like mentorships and groups and whatnot.
I've got a few. I actually have 4 mentors right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Are
So I
they
have
are they all talking about different things?
they
Like,
all I get something different from every one of them, and that's what I
Mhm.
like about it, because now I don't have one just kind of like, here's what you have to do, blah blah blah, right? Like it's kind of like I get different pieces, and it could just be something of how I'm running the business to how I handle things with a client or a
Yeah.
prospect or something like that. So it's really good. And I have 4 of them. I mean, I can name them if you want me to.
that's
It's
up to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Tim Taylor from Taylor Works, James Kernan, he's phenomenal, David Herrera, and Will Nobles.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for pouring into Rob Joyce, and obviously he's trying to he's paying that back, and I really like that you're including that as part of the training and stuff that you're doing with the new hires and how you're moving forward, because I do feel like that's something that's kind of been lost with sort of the progression of small business and how we go about things today, is that like we're building something to pass it on to a new generation, and we want to impart the wisdom and the things that we've learned, and you know
Well, I think knowledge is very important, right?
yeah.
And I love meeting somebody who wants to learn and they kind of want to just embrace it all. I think that's great. I'd rather have that than the guy who thinks he knows everything,
Yeah.
because none of us do, right? I mean, the reality of it.
Except for Ali. Ali,
Except for Ollie, of course, and Frank
I'm,
sometimes.
I'm with Ali.
I know a
Especially,
lot. I know a lot about very small things, like very.
Ali hears me ask him all the time. How does this work? How do I post this? Jesus, Frank, come on. It's all right. I'm gonna tell you. No, this has been awesome. I know we're coming up on time, so I'm going to
Yeah.
ask for 2 things, Rob.
Mhm.
Last thing that we ask everybody is parting message
Yeah.
to entrepreneurs out there, people that are starting, and have that be whatever you want. And then after that, where can we find you?
Okay. So, I mean, I'm going to give you twofold on that. One is going to be, if you're starting a business and you want to become an entrepreneur and stuff, I definitely think surround yourself with the right people is the key thing. Do a lot of your homework on what you plan on doing, and kind of try and build some sort of process and some sort of plan in place for that. If you're starting out, and I'm always willing to talk to somebody as well. If anybody ever wants to speak, I love meeting great people.
Yep.
And then on top of that, Gradius IT Solutions, we are a fully managed IT service provider. We are basically your IT department. So you're a small, medium business, you hire us, we are your partner. And that's
Nice.
from anything related to your technology. As far as getting in touch with us, you can reach us at the email. It's info@gradiusitsolutions.com. I get all those emails. And then the phone number, get that for you because it's on the site. I don't really use it, as you can imagine, because I don't call in. But I mean, if you just go to gradiusitsolutions.com, you can get the phone number, you can get the email, you can actually just book a call with me. You can do whatever you want. We have everything set up there.
That's fantastic. That's so
I have
great.
it. I have it here. It's 866-710-0308.
Yeah, we have somebody who will answer the phone throughout the day, so they'll answer the calls and they'll pass it on to me.
See, I told you, he knows everything.
He does. He does. It's faster than me trying to bring it up.
There we go. There we go. This is great. This is
We'll
great.
also make sure all of the notes and information is in the show notes when we go to post this on our YouTube channel, which you can find at scalingsmartershow.com. And yeah.
Awesome. I really appreciate it. I mean, this was great. I told you my heart monitor is like palpitating right now. It's like
You're good. You're good.
Is it 200 beats per minute right now?
I think so, yeah.
Well, Rob, listen, we appreciate you and we love these conversations. So thank you for taking the time and sharing your story with us.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll bring you back for another episode in the new year in 2027 so that you can so we can spike your heart rate again.
I love it. Yeah, and like I said, if anybody wants to reach out and chat, I love meeting great people.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right,
Yeah,
guys.
that's great.
All right.
All right.
Have a
Take
good day,
care,
guys.
everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.